Overcoming shiny object syndrome is something I've always struggled with. I remember starting my first business when I was about 12 years old. It was buying and reselling little game consoles. There was like a PS Vita thing, it's like handheld PlayStation. It's the first time I ever made any money online. And I bought it for about £70 and sold it for 250. So since that point, I knew I loved business. But since then, I've probably gone through 200 business models. Granted, that was a long time ago, but just looking back, the amount of time I spent on SMMA, copywriting, sales, e-commerce, if I just put my head down and really focused on one business model and used the advice I'm going to give you in this video, I'd be a lot further. Don't get me wrong, I don't regret any of that time. I have so many business skills, graphic design, sales, copywriting, that I use in my own business today that I could never just get rid of. I'd never change my past, if that makes sense, because it's got me so far in this current business model I'm in. If it weren't for all those business models I was creating when I was a sort of young teenager, I probably wouldn't be doing what I'm doing now. So this isn't an issue that I was suffering with a long time ago. This is something I've struggled with up until the last few months. And I don't think I ever went more than a month working on a business model. I had an Amazon FBA business for about a month. I started seeing a bit of money from, but nothing really stuck. Now, I've been doing web design for 4 months now, and I've never been so disciplined. I'm coming up to 50 videos on my business YouTube channel. That's separate from this one. This probably has about 25, and it's just the channel where I give back and sort of show part of my life. It's more for me really than any sort of audience or anything. If you benefit from this stuff, that's amazing. But this is just showing my authentic side. My actual business YouTube channel, I'm up to 50 videos, plus my blog as well. I'm posting on there 3 times per week, and that's going so well. As for freelance platforms, I'm just pitching on there like a motherfucker. Like seriously, I'm just not slowing down. So why do I think this has changed? I put it down to actually putting a lot of time into thinking about what I wanted to do, seeing the future vision. Now, I mentioned I've started lots of business models in the past, and one thing I sort of clocked onto is whenever I think of a business model, I'd go ahead and I'd create a website for it. Like all these cool logos, like loads of information about the company. I'd put hours into it, and I'd never actually put any time into creating the business itself or going out there to get clients. Like I'd probably do it for a few days and I'd jump into something else. So when I clocked onto that, I realised I got such a massive dopamine rush from creating these websites for all these different projects. I didn't have any like energy left into me to actually do any of the other work. So thinking about that, that's what I really enjoyed doing. Now, it did sort of fall into my lap. There's a coach within my network who sort of has a training program on Squarespace design. If you want to try that out yourself, definitely recommend it. I'll leave the link to that in the description. Send me a message if you have any questions. But it did sort of fall into my lap, but I put a lot of thought and effort into sort of deciding what sort of business model I wanted to do and what I was going to stick to. Now, I'm not going to go ahead and say that you don't need discipline to get a business up and going. Even if you do enjoy what you do on a daily basis, it's going to take a lot of work, a lot of time, and there are going to be weeks at a time where you're going to tell yourself, yeah, this isn't going to work out. You're going to have lots of limiting beliefs you need to break. For instance, I still suffer with them, to be honest. There are times where I just say, oh, it's just not scalable. AI is going to take over. The new Wix feature where you can just create a website by typing a little prompt in, that's going to take my job. Now, you can't think like that, because even if it does happen, at least you got somewhere with it. You learnt a new skill, you learnt a lesson, so You really can't make predictions like that. Now, it's a concern of mine, but I don't think I'll ever be out of work because I see the future vision. For me, I don't want to just be known as a website designer. I want to be known as someone that builds entire brands, something AI just can't do. Logos, websites, the whole character avatar behind a brand, understanding your market. That's where I want to be, and I want to teach people how to do that as well, for all the lessons I've learned over the years. I'm not ready to go into that market. I'm sticking with what I've got right now. I want to build this business up before I go into something else. But that's the vision for me, and I've only got there. I've only got to making an online income through just not giving a fuck about these limiting beliefs, just trusting the process. It takes discipline, but my advice is actually put a lot of time into thinking about what you want to do. If you had to work without any money for an entire year, what would you do? Now, in the beginning stages, you're gonna notice it takes a lot of time to build the business up, and that's the infrastructure, building my portfolio, building out my freelance platform pages, creating all the graphics for my YouTube channel, LinkedIn, getting systems in place. That stuff takes bloody ages. But when you don't actually have any clients in the initial stages, I wouldn't say you want to overwork yourself. I've recently finished Atomic Habits. That's an excellent book if you want to sort of understand how to get results without going off track. It's those small little things every day. Another book I've been reading is 4 Hour Work Week, and those books combined together are absolutely excellent. They contradict themselves in some ways, but the whole gist of both of them is it's not about working so many hours. It's about just doing a few hours per week, and if you're doing that consistently, these small habits make extraordinary results. Give them 2 books to read, sort of digest what I've told you, and yeah, we are a good few months into this business model. It's been tough. I've questioned every single thing I've done, but I've managed to build a massive testimonial, base of testimonials. I've got an online income now, and I'm ready to go and take on Europe, to be honest. I've booked a few flights. Marrakesh will be the first one. I'll be doing Budapest for a couple of months. You probably saw my video out there if you sort of follow what I do on this YouTube channel. And see where we go from there. Hopefully this helped you boys, and I'll catch you in the next one.